Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be taking my subscribers' matches, breaking them down, and giving you guys some tips, what I would do, what I think you did well on, and what I think you can improve on. Okay, so off the bat, Drew here is going to pull into butterfly guard. One thing I would suggest doing is maybe snapping the head down or getting some form of grip on our opponent. In this clip here, I grab a 2-on-1 before setting the guard. This gives me an easy pullback reaction from my opponent, which I then chain directly into a really early sweep. So getting grips and making sure our opponent puts their weight on their heels as we're pulling guard is just something I generally look for when pulling. So I can tell Drew right now is going for butterfly guard. He's losing the hand fight here, but more importantly, as we get into this part, his opponent steps in, and we could have gone to a really easy shin-to-shin entry. I think his opponent was a little bit late or didn't time that step in perfectly, so his shin was exposed. So just something you can look for, even right there again, kind of giving you that option for shin-to-shin. So it's a guard. If you're playing butterfly, it might be something worth going into. His opponent's going to fuck up here, and Drew actually gets into single leg X. Now, there's two things here that I learned from Bird Wiltsey when he was explaining the straight ankle lock to me, and, take these with a grain of salt. I'm not much of a straight ankle player, but this is just what I was told. So I am aware that this is a scramble, and it'll be easier said than done, but strictly speaking from this frame right here, your heel and knee look pretty low on his leg. So if you're able to get that knee and heel a little closer onto his hip and really clamp down on there, it would have prevented him from rotating. As well as your grip right now, it's very low on your chest. You want to bring your grip as high as you can to your neck, and that should be able to get a lot more braking pressure out of the ankle lock. Now, as you're coming out of this one, it's pretty obvious, and I can see you try to do it, but maybe if you're able to peel the hand off of your thigh, you would have been able to hit that very sneaky triangle. It's one of my favorite moves, and it's really fun to hit, but you were close. All right, so as I get back into it, now this opportunity has come up a few times, but if this was me, you guys know what I would be going for here. Now, instead of that happening, something actually really bad happens, and I want to blame this on just not controlling the hand fight. I'm a victim to it too, so I'm obviously not criticizing you in any way. It's just, I think that's probably the most noticeable mistake from my end, from a outside perspective that I can see, is in both scenarios, both this one and earlier, your opponent was winning that grip battle, and it resulted in a Kimura attack right now. And he actually throws over a fucking Tarika Plata, locked up, bicep slicing. I know that shit hurts too, so kudos to you for toughing this one out and getting out of this, because my ass probably would have tapped. But good timing on the letting the arm go and hitchhiking out. That was beautiful. Right at the end of that sentence, I was saying something about good to get on top and get top position, but I see we're a guard player, so we're staying on bottom. And in this next sequence, I'm not really sure. I don't know how I would give advice to this. I think you defended well. I think you might have just overcommitted when the attack wasn't fully open. But also, I think your opponent just did a good job defending, keeping his knees tight and not allowing you to get closer with your leg to his hips. But this one right here, I think, is a little more important to talk about. So my friend Justin uses this a lot, but I'd say the mistake from this position is notice how much space there is between the chest-to-chest connection. There's a lot of space and room for your opponent to work. Your hands also aren't locked together, creating tension on his arms and flaring his arms up, which is why he was able to base out and attack this knee cut. All right, so we're in front headlock. I'm going to skip ahead a few seconds, and you actually do something here that I want to kind of give to everybody. This is a lesson my uncle taught me when I first started doing jiu-jitsu. So his opponent is going to go to pass here, and he gets a really strong angle, both legs to the outside, facing into Dean's torso. Now, as his opponent runs to north-south, instead of staying flat and trying to frame his opponent off, he changes the plane of his guard from flat on the mat to now at a very weird angle, and you can't pass your opponent's guard like this. You can take the back, but in guard retention, we have to sometimes risk back exposure in order to get out of positions, and that's what he did here. And he was able to not just defend, but also re-attack into a K-guard entry. Now, his opponent is pretty game, so he defends that pretty easily and then actually starts to attack the ankle lock. Now, I don't know if you did this on purpose or if you had a chance to maybe put your foot somewhere else, but as you kicked out of this, you actually straightened your leg out, giving your opponent very easy access in the saddle here. At this point, I would very much suggest to spring up and try to grab the hands, pull the hands away from your feet. Obviously, I know that there's unforeseen pressures that can make that very hard, so I understand. But overall, good match, dude. I think he had some really good attacks, some great submission defense. I think in the end, you lost this match to hand fighting. I think on multiple occasions, your opponent just had more dominant grips over you throughout the match. Another thing I would say is in order to start creating offense from guard, I would suggest trying to off-balance him more, using more push-pull, and that should open up stronger grips as well as more overall attacks. Now, if you guys are interested in getting in on the series and think it'll provide some value for you, email me your matches at carsahbjj@gmail.com. For the rest of this month, I'm doing $30 per 5 to 6 minute video. Next month, it'll go up to $40. So if you guys are interested in something like this, email me. Spots are limited, so the sooner the better. That'll do it for this one, so I'll see you guys next time.